Hollywood, known as Tinseltown, is famous for its glitz and glamour, where fame and fortune often steal the spotlight. But behind the scenes, there are darker tales, stories of cunning masterminds and ruthless actors who have left their mark with unforgettable performances. The truth behind these tales isn't just for us to judge. Here are the most sinister stories of Hollywood's 12 most notorious actors from the past. Kirk Douglas. Douglas wasn't just another good-looking actor. Growing up in a chaotic home, he found comfort in the spotlight. His love for acting started in high school, where he discovered his passion for the stage and also became entangled in scandals that followed him throughout his career. Douglas's personal life was as dramatic as his film roles. His relationships and the rumors surrounding him painted a complicated picture, showing a man caught between being a hero and a villain. Despite the controversies, his bold and charismatic persona made him one of Hollywood's most infamous figures. One troubling story involves actress Natalie Wood. It's alleged that when she was just 15, she was invited to Douglas's room, where she spent several hours before being sent away with threats to stay silent. While this account has not been confirmed, it has been publicly discussed. After Douglas passed away, tributes to Natalie Wood filled social media, and Douglas was criticized as a bad person. The truth about their relationship remains unclear, and now that both Wood and Douglas are gone, we may never know the full story. Some people believe the allegations might have been made up and linked to various actors over time. However, Douglas had his faults. He admitted to being one of the least liked actors in Hollywood, partly because of his tough upbringing. Even his co-star, Burt Lancaster, joked about how hard he was to work with. Douglas also confessed to being unfaithful in his relationships and was known for being controlling on film sets. He famously fired the director of Spartacus after just 1 week and tried to take control of things from Stanley Kubrick during Paths of Glory. Despite these issues, both of these films became successful. Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney's real-life personality was very different from the kind and wholesome characters he played on screen. He was often described as loud, abrasive, rude, and difficult to work with. His unprofessional behavior continued even after filming ended, making it hard for others to collaborate with him. One particularly troubling incident happened during the filming of National Velvet in 1944. Rooney was criticized for how he treated a young Elizabeth Taylor, with reports suggesting he took advantage of the teenage actress. Later, he denied even knowing her, dismissing her as spoiled and questioning her talent. After Rooney's death, stories surfaced about his unkind behavior and negative comments about many of his colleagues. This tarnished the image of the friendly, lovable characters he portrayed on screen, revealing the more complicated and difficult side of his personality and the realities of classic Hollywood. Mickey Rooney's reputation came from many sources. His rude and arrogant behavior caused conflicts with co-workers, directors, and even fans. His personal life also hurt his public image, with multiple marriages, divorces, money problems, and struggles with substance abuse adding to the controversy. Transitioning from a child star to an adult actor was tough for Rooney. Some critics doubted he could move beyond his boyish charm and take on serious, mature roles. Additionally, his portrayal of Asian characters, especially in Breakfast at Tiffany's, drew heavy criticism for promoting harmful stereotypes and being racially insensitive. Faye Dunaway. In Hollywood's glamorous world of fame and dreams, Faye Dunaway stands out not only for her incredible performances but also for her reputation as one of the industry's most difficult personalities. Reports of her sudden exit from the Broadway-bound play Tea at 5 included allegations of physical altercations and creating a hostile environment, which were later confirmed. One person who worked with Dunaway shared a troubling experience. During a scene, instead of pretending to slap them, she actually hit them across the face. Broadway wig designer Paul Huntley, who worked with her in 1996, also witnessed her volatile behavior. He recalled an incident where Dunaway, unhappy with how hairpins were arranged, slapped his assistant's hand in frustration. Stories like these reveal the challenges of working with such a demanding and temperamental actress. Faye Dunaway's off-screen behavior has added to her infamous Hollywood reputation. According to the book Easy Riders and Raging Bulls, during the filming of Chinatown, Dunaway reportedly engaged in odd habits like urinating in trash cans and avoiding flushing toilets in her dressing room. The book also claims that during a disagreement with director Roman Polanski, she threw a cup of liquid, allegedly urine, at him. Dunaway dismissed this accusation as ridiculous and refused to address it further. Her behavior has even surprised other famously difficult actors. James Woods, who worked with her on The Disappearance of Amy, shared a story about her throwing an object at him for forgetting a line. Even Bette Davis, known for her fiery personality, mentioned Dunaway when asked about the most difficult people in Hollywood. These stories contribute to the legend of Dunaway as a demanding and unpredictable figure. Orson Welles. Orson Welles, the visionary behind films like Citizen Kane, had a darker, lesser-known side revealed through old recordings of candid talks with his friend, director Henry Jaglom. In these private conversations, Welles openly criticized many of his Hollywood peers. He called Laurence Olivier dim-witted, described Spencer Tracy as vindictive, and referred to Charlie Chaplin as haughty. He even admitted he couldn't stand watching Bette Davis and dismissed James Stewart as a mediocre actor despite his fame. Beyond his opinions on others, Welles often struggled with the limits of the studio system, facing frequent financial challenges in getting his projects done. These insights show a more complex and critical side of the legendary filmmaker. Orson Welles was determined to create films even with limited resources, staying true to his artistic vision. He often spoke about his encounters with rising stars like Marilyn Monroe, whom he supported early in her career before she became a household name. However, Hollywood insiders like Daryl Zanuck dismissed Monroe as just another extra, an attitude Welles found common in the industry. In the same recordings, Welles didn't hold back his harsh opinions about certain actresses. He criticized Bette Davis and Jennifer Jones, calling Jones irredeemable and completely dismissing Davis's talent. His blunt critiques revealed his unfiltered thoughts about Hollywood's biggest names. Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn was born in 1909 in Tasmania, where his upbringing was far from ordinary. Growing up surrounded by kangaroos and Tasmanian devils, his adventurous spirit took shape early. However, trouble seemed to follow him. After being expelled from school at 17, Flynn traveled to New Guinea, where he tried many different jobs, including diamond smuggling and pearl diving. His real passion, however, was acting. Driven by a desire for fame, he moved to England, leaving behind a history of risky adventures. His knack for deception even got him a spot at the Stratford-upon-Avon Festival. Recognizing his talent, Warner Brothers quickly signed him, and this marked the beginning of Flynn's Hollywood career. Errol Flynn's life took a major turn during a dangerous ambush in the jungle. Despite the chaos, this experience helped set him on the path to acting. Film executive Joel Schwartz saw Flynn's charisma and cast him as Fletcher Christian in the 1933 film In the Wake of the Bounty. This marked the start of Flynn's career, but it was just the beginning of many ups and downs. In 1942, Flynn was accused of assault by young women, sparking a media frenzy that damaged his reputation. Despite this, Flynn's confidence never wavered, even during the courtroom drama. He was ultimately acquitted. Flynn's legacy is a mix of success and scandal. His wild life both on and off screen made him a Hollywood icon, but it also exposed the darker side of fame and fortune. Peter Sellers. In Hollywood's classic comedies, Peter Sellers shone as the bumbling Detective Inspector Clouseau in the Pink Panther series. However, behind his on-screen charm and humor was a troubled genius who was difficult to work with. Director Blake Edwards found it challenging to collaborate with Sellers, who was, in a word, eccentric. Sellers would talk to his deceased mother and even carry a shrine to her wherever he went. Edwards, the creative mind behind the Pink Panther films, struggled with Sellers' unpredictable mood swings and deep insecurities. These personal challenges clashed with Edwards' more organized approach, creating tension and chaos behind the scenes. Peter Sellers believed that his wild behavior was key to his creativity, thinking that without it, the comedy wouldn't work. His unpredictable methods often disrupted filming, which frustrated director Blake Edwards. At times, they went without speaking and communicated through their assistants. Despite their rocky relationship, their work together led to major hits, including 5 Pink Panther films and the 1968 classic The Party. Milton Berle. This person was a leader of his time, capturing millions with his sharp humor and charm. His weekly TV show became a cultural sensation, so powerful that businesses would stop what they were doing to make sure their customers didn't miss an episode. Each week, countless viewers eagerly watched the silly antics of Uncle Milty. His fame reached such heights that, at the peak of his popularity, reports showed a drop in movie ticket sales, and some businesses closed during his show to make sure customers didn't miss it. As time went on, Berle's star began to fade. In a bold move, he was asked to host Saturday Night Live, but the show's creator, Lorne Michaels, was skeptical. Despite the doubts, Burl took the stage, but it turned out to be a disaster. His over-the-top behavior and refusal to follow direction left the cast and crew stunned. Kara Kovalik, who worked on the show, said that Burl's constant mugging for the camera and his need to control everything led to a memorable SNL disaster. After his failed appearance, Burl's reputation became linked to stories of arrogance and self-importance. While he had helped shape early television, his behavior behind the scenes often didn't meet expectations. Ellis Beard. The public image of Wallace as a friendly, likable performer was carefully manufactured by movie studios, but this masked a darker reality. Behind the scenes, Wallace was known for mistreating his colleagues, especially younger actors. Specific incidents, such as reports of physical aggression towards child actors like Mickey Rooney, revealed a stark contrast between Wallace's on-screen persona and his actual behavior, exposing the harsh treatment that was unfortunately common in Hollywood during that era. Despite Wallace Beery's harsh treatment, Mickey Rooney surprisingly had a complicated, mixed respect for him. Rooney's view showed the complicated relationship they had while working together. Similarly, Gloria Swanson's early experiences with Beery revealed troubling power imbalances in Hollywood. Even though there was a big age gap between them, Swanson reportedly felt uncomfortable around him. Beery's off-screen behavior was very different from his public image, as he had an unappealing and unpleasant attitude, even toward those close to him. Swanson's discomfort highlighted the huge difference between Beery's public persona and his true private character. Bing Crosby. Bing Crosby was more than just a legendary singer known for classics like White Christmas. He was a complex figure surrounded by controversy, especially regarding his family life. While he appeared charming and charismatic in public, his relationship with his children told a different story. Crosby led an incredibly busy life, constantly moving between movie sets, radio shows, and music performances, which significantly impacted his family dynamics. Bing Crosby's son, Gary Crosby, once shared that Bing was rarely around during their childhood. Bing was afraid his children would fall into the typical Hollywood lifestyle, which pushed them further apart. His focus on keeping them away from Hollywood's temptations strained their relationship. It wasn't until his second marriage that Bing seemed to reconsider his role as a father, but he still struggled to show his emotions. Despite his fame, Bing's personal life was far from perfect. The tragic death of his son Lindsay and his battles with alcoholism revealed the darker side of being famous. Bing's stoic attitude lasted until the end. Even in his final moments on a golf course in 1977, as told by his son Nathaniel, Bing stayed reserved, more focused on the game than showing his feelings. Henry Fonda. For over 50 years, Henry Fonda was loved by audiences as the perfect symbol of American goodness, from his role as a migrant worker in The Grapes of Wrath to his powerful performance in 12 Angry Men. He became known as the all-American hero in Hollywood. However, a new biography reveals a different side of Fonda's life, one that was troubled and private. Co-author Darwin Porter exposes Fonda as a flawed husband and father. Despite his public image, Fonda was self-centered, uncomfortable with showing emotions, and far from the lovable figure he appeared to be. The biography also reveals that Fonda was unfaithful in 4 of his 5 marriages, showing that the man who represented traditional American values on screen was very different in real life. Fonda's personal life was very different from the image he portrayed on screen. He had several romantic affairs with Hollywood actresses like Joan Crawford, Marlene Dietrich, and Barbara Stanwyck. While his relationship with Lucille Ball was well known, he remained unfaithful throughout his marriages. His children, Jane and Peter, often felt ignored. Fonda's first relationship with actress Margaret Sullivan was difficult, as she publicly criticized him, and his later marriages were marked by affairs and divorces. His personal life was far from perfect, with struggles involving his mental health and personal hardships overshadowing his relationships. John Wayne. John Wayne was famous not just for his tough movie roles, but also for his outspoken and often offensive opinions. He strongly supported the Vietnam War and campaigned for it, calling anti-war protesters un-American and ignoring the struggles of soldiers returning from war. Wayne held extreme conservative views and wasn't afraid to share them. In a Playboy interview, he even said he believed in white supremacy until black people were educated. His negative views on the civil rights movement and lack of concern for the suffering of marginalized communities revealed his deeply prejudiced beliefs. John Wayne's personal life was just as troubled as his public one. He was known for having many affairs, which ruined his marriage and caused his wife a lot of public embarrassment. His ego was huge at public events. He would dismiss people he thought were beneath him, showing that his fame had gone to his head. At the 1973 Oscars, Wayne became furious over Sachin Littlefeather's speech about Hollywood's mistreatment of Native Americans and tried to physically attack her, but security stopped him. His racist and violent behavior showed a very different side of him than the American hero many believed him to be. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin's personal life revealed a deeply troubling pattern of predatory behavior towards young women. Throughout his life, he repeatedly pursued and married teenage girls, including Mildred Harris at 16, Lita Gray at 15, and Una O'Neill at 17 when he was 54. These marriages were often attempts to avoid legal consequences or were initiated after getting a young woman pregnant. Chaplin's relationships were characterized by control and manipulation, as he demanded absolute loyalty and discarded women when they no longer served his interests. His consistent pursuit of very young partners exposes a disturbing side of the silent film star, far removed from his public persona. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more captivating content. Until next time.